News every 15 minutes, weather every 10, and sports twice an hour.
News Talk KGVO, AM 1290 and now 101.5 FM.
You're listening to Montana Morning with Peter Christian.
The Department of Defense is taking over the plagiarism investigation into John Walsh. Good morning, everyone. It's Montana Morning. It's Wednesday, July 30th, 2014. The sky is clear. It is an absolutely beautiful morning in western Montana. Right this very minute, we have 61 degrees under a clear sky in Missoula. Our newscast this morning is sponsored by Dig It Excavating, where they bring 30 years of excellence to every job. Call 214-4292. A U.S. Army War College official says the Department of Defense has now taken the unusual step of overseeing a plagiarism investigation against Senator John Walsh of Montana. The Carlisle, Pennsylvania College began the investigation after a New York Times story showed Walsh used others' work without attribution in a 2007 research paper required for a master's degree. Provost Lance Petros said yesterday Defense Department officials told the college the department will decide whether any discipline is warranted based on the school's review. Petros says that decision is normally reserved for the school's deputy commandant. He says the Defense Department intervention is very unusual and was done because Walsh is a member of Congress who is a military veteran. Neither the Inspector General's office nor Walsh's campaign immediately returned messages for comment. The Lost Horse Fire in the Bitterroot, still burning, has grown to 55 acres now. Bitterroot National Forest spokesman Todd McKay provides these details.
Started from that lightning storm that we had a week ago that came through the valley, and it was a holdover fire for a couple of days until it got some sun and wind on it. It's burning about 10 miles southwest of Hamilton, just north of Darby, up the Lost Horse drainage. It's about halfway back the canyon, if you will.
The terrain has numerous large boulders, making it almost impossible to fight the fire from the ground. McKay says the difficult terrain is the main reason why the fire is still at 0% containment.
Folks familiar with the Bitterroot will know that there are quite a few structures and homes up the Lost Horse Canyon area, but the fire is many miles from that. But as the potential is, obviously, we get the winds from the west pushing the fire to the east, and that would be where those homes and structures are.
McKay says they have tried to drop firefighters in by helicopter, but that the terrain was so difficult, the firefighting efforts have shifted to dropping retardant from the air and preventing the fire from jumping to nearby trees. Lolo National Forest spokesman Boyd Hartwig, in a related story, says this year's fire season has been much easier than last year so far.
Last year at this time, we'd already had a fairly significant series of escape fires, and Westmoreland was probably the biggest one. Up by Superior, that was a fire that was very challenging and caused evacuations. And last year was busy for us. You can never know what might happen, but compared to last year, we're in a better spot.
Even though no big fires have sparked in the Lolo National Forest, just this week fire crews were called out to put a small blaze started by a campfire close to Missoula.
We had a bit of abandoned campfire at Blue Mountain, right off of the main road, what we call the sledding hill up there. So that's always a concern to us, to get abandoned campfire anywhere on the forest, but in a location like that, so close to people's homes. That's a real concern to us.
Hardwick says although things are looking good so far, August is traditionally the heart of fire season for western Montana. And fire season, by the way, traditionally goes all the way through the end of October, or if things are really bad, until the first snow. A Bitterroot National Forest firefighter who was missing for about 24 hours is now recovering at a Hamilton hospital while forest officials tried to determine how he went missing. Forest spokesman Todd McKay says 30-year-old Justin Wall was found walking along a remote Forest Service road Monday afternoon, just a day after he failed to keep up with 7 other members of a crew hiking in to mop up a 1-acre lightning-caused fire. He had helped to fight the fire on Saturday. Wall was found Monday several miles from the site of the fire in very rugged, steep terrain. McKay says Wall told searchers he was thirsty and very, very hungry. Senator John Tester testified yesterday before a Senate committee in favor of his Renewable Energy Development Bill. Tester says his Public Land Renewable Energy Development Act will this is a quote now, streamline permitting for renewable energy projects on public lands and increase America's energy production and direct revenues to local communities while also protecting the land End quote.
I believe the expansion of wind and solar development is compatible with public land protection. America's wind energy potential is vast, and when it is responsibly developed, it can be a win for business, a win for communities, and a win for wildlife.
Tester also says the changes will increase local government's revenue and be able to direct renewable energy royalty systems that will support conservation and federal land access projects. A Billings man who said he was behind on his car payments has pleaded guilty to robbing an American Federal Savings Bank branch back in March. The Billings Gazette reports 43-year-old Robert Bruce Scollard entered his plea Tuesday during a hearing before District Judge Russell Fagg. Under a plea agreement, prosecutors are seeking a sentence of 15 years in prison with 5 suspended. Scollard's attorney will be able to argue for less time when he is sentenced September 30th. Police stopped Scollard near the bank. Charging documents say he acknowledged robbing the bank because he was behind on his car payments. Prosecutors say Scollard's criminal record includes convictions for arson, forgery, theft, and attempted robbery. Scollard remains jailed with bail set at $50,000. Officials in northwestern Montana say an Ohio man died after being thrown from a bicycle on Big Mountain Road north of Whitefish. Flathead County Coroner's Office says the victim of Sunday's accident was 69-year-old Daniel Schodinger of Columbus, Ohio. He was a part-time resident of Whitefish. Witnesses said Schodinger was riding down the Big Mountain Road when he had to brake unexpectedly because a vehicle turned into a driveway in front of him. He was thrown from the bike, struck his head on the pavement, and died of a skull fracture. The Columbus Dispatch reports Schodinger was a 40-year corporate attorney who served 2 terms in the Columbus City Council back in the 1970s. Well, a big high-pressure system situated over the western U.S. is leading to these record-high temperatures throughout western Montana. Meteorologist Bob Nestor with the National Weather Service office in Missoula said late yesterday afternoon that several communities have broken the century mark or gone even higher, including Stevensville, which set a new record yesterday.
So far, they've been up to 102 degrees. The record was 100 in 2003. 3 other sites have tied the record for the day. Trout Creek at 101, St. Regis at 100, and West Glacier at 94 degrees.
Nestor says yesterday was the hottest day we're expecting this week, but temperatures will still be very warm.
Temperatures are going to remain in the 90s much of the rest of the week. Today should have been the hottest day of the week. So anticipate temperatures maybe about 5 degrees cooler the next few days. So if you call low to mid-90s cooler.
Yeah, of course, these high temperatures still above normal for this time of year. News Talk time is 6:10.
News Talk, KGVO.
Missoula's official weather station.
An isolated shower or thunderstorm is possible this afternoon. Otherwise, look for mostly sunny skies with our highs in the mid-90s. Partly cloudy tonight with lows right around 60. I'm meteorologist Brooke Foster for KECI 13, your first alert station.